Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, that's why Tim was basically the unspoken leader. He was older. He was a football player in high school. Uh, if I fucked up in a club, he would beat asses for me. Uh, if any one of us fucked up or had a problem, Tim would take care of it. If we did if we did damage to a club or did damage to someone, Tim would pay for it. Um, Big brother. And I cried for a week when our first band broke up, and he went to college. And I begged him. I'm like, "Yo, dude, don't go to college to be you know, fucking astrophysicist. Stay home and make $30 a night with us. Please don't go." Crying tears to him. Yeah, because you do with music. Yeah. And he's like, "I'm sorry, bro. I gotta do what I gotta do." So, we kept the band going without Tim, and it sucked. It was okay, but it taught me how to. Tim was the front man. He was the bass player and singer in that first group. And while Tim was away at college, I took over his spot. I had to learn how to sing and play, and it was okay. We got good. We got better. We started writing original material. Finally, Tim came home from college, and I was by this time I was in high school, and I was on the phone to him every day. I'm like, "Yo, dude, get back over here. We need a drummer," because he had bought a drum set. He had a little Royce, a little toy drum set, right? Like a 20-inch kick drum with a 10-inch tom, like a 14-inch floor tom, and some decent cymbals he had because Tim was a kleptomaniac, um, which was also great. Uh, yeah, so finally we dragged him over, and we started showing him punk rock songs. And Tim's not into punk rock at this point. He's into Black Sabbath and Metallica and Slayer and Anthrax, and he's into complex music. Finally, we won his amour. I remember we used to do these obscure punk songs and tell him that we were writing them just to get him in the band. And one day he finally said, "Okay, I'll join the band," in like '92 or something. And again, as the drummer. And we had no gear. We had no PA. For the longest time, we were singing through guitar amps, trying to. You just couldn't be heard. So Tim would do things like this. I can say this now because it's like so long ago. There would be before cameras and before the internet. There would be. They lived out in the suburbs. Beautiful place, trees. They had a big junkyard in their backyard that their father owned, an endless junkyard with endless. You could go and clear your head and find zen. Their house smelled good. They're always trying to feed me, and we'd sleep over each other's houses. And there would be these religious festivals they would have out there. They lived by the radio station, you know, and to get the band going, Tim would go to the radio station and steal a small satellite dish, put it on his back, go down to GE and sell it, and we'd get $500. There'd be this thing called the Hope Fest that would come around every year, and we didn't. We would go and we'd watch these Christian bands with their 1978, you know, Fender Precision bass with block inlays and a brand new Gretsch drum kit, Ampeg amps, custom bass amps. And we didn't like that. We thought, who are these rich guys? They're coming to our neighborhood. And we found out, we did a little research. We found out that they would leave the equipment overnight, set up on the stage with no fucking security whatsoever. They would leave the shit on the stage. Tim and Alex was about 11 years old when he did this. Best thing they ever did is Tim went over with Alex one night in the middle of the night. and grabbed the 1978 Fender P bass that we used up until on every track we ever recorded. This 78 P bass. Grabbed it, put the drum set on his back, put a 42 channel board on his back, walked it back to his house, stole all the fucking cymbals, and we were off and running. Stole the bass amp. Now we had a bass amp. Now we had a mixing board. Now we had microphones. We were, and I remember Ted called me up and said, Aaron, you got to get over here, dude. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let me finish up over here. I'll have my mom drop me off. My mom drops me off at Kings Road. I'm coming into the house. He's like, come upstairs. Don't say a fucking word. You got to see what Tim did last night at Hope Fest. And I'm thinking, what could he have done? Okay. We go upstairs and there's a big, giant 40 channel fucking board up there with a brand new bass. He says, if anybody asks, this is your dad's equipment. You're letting us use it. And I'm like, is this ours now? He's like, yeah. You know, Tim did this. Tim and Alex. And that's that's pretty much how we started. Mm-hmm. Tim was the missing element. We were able to play shows. It was Tim's idea to, he was like, I was out last night with my pot smoking friends. We seen your old guitar teacher's band at QE2. We should play there. I'm like, we can't play there. He's like, yeah, we can. Let's make a demo tape. We made a demo. Sure enough, we were off and running. Every piece of equipment we had was stolen. And it would never have happened otherwise. Yeah, Tim was great like that. Why does this dude keep telling me you can't take? I can take anyone I want with me wherever I'm going. I'm not going to your part of town. I'm not going with you people. I'm bringing ordinary street bitches with me. Milibot's gonna be my wife, little pregnant piggy hoe. She loves me. I gotta get Milibot I gotta put my dick in it, impregnate it, and get it a ring. Pretty sure I want that. I want to suck some Summer titties too. I've had enough of this. Summer, get over here and grind your pussy on my face, please. Yeah. I mean, Tim's the reason we had a studio. Tim decided to get a job, and it was like Jerry and Doyle. Tim and Ted. They worked for their father. They were contractors for government uh, facilities. Like if a prison needed to be built, they'd spend 6 months out of the year building a prison, and shit like that. So they had decent money, and Tim would take his money. First, it started out with a Tascam 8-track, you know, and then we worked our way up to digital studio. He did all that. We had a good thing going too with Tim on vocals because he could ape my voice perfectly. We were always trying to find out how to get a vocal blend, and it didn't take us long to figure it out. Yeah, and eventually Tim started singing songs, and he could imitate my voice really well. It sat in his natural register. He became quite a singer. He started out as a screaming banshee and turned into a smooth baritone kind of thing. Yeah, it helped to have nice vocals, nice gear. And Tim's a perfectionist. You got to remember that he won't allow himself to often at times he's a perfectionist, and so is Ted, and so am I, in many ways. I should be tons of pussy. There's no reason for this. I should have had Mila Bot when she was 14.